Parallel flow heat exchanger. So this is the equipment which is used to conduct the parallel flow heat exchanger. So basically, when I take a parallel flow heat exchanger, it is a device in which both hot and cold fluid moves in the same direction. When I take the counter flow heat exchanger, hot and cold fluid moves in the opposite direction. When I take the equipment here, this equipment is used to conduct experiment on both parallel as well as the counter flow heat exchanger. Okay. So when I take the equipment, here we find an inlet valve. Okay. From where the cold water is fed, this cold water comes over here and it goes through the two of the rotometer as shown. See, one of the rotometer is connected to the hot water heater so that it gives the reading for the hot water flow rate and another gives the reading for the cold water flow rate. So when I take this rotometer, it gives the reading for the hot water flow rate and this gives the reading for the cold water flow rate. So when I take here this rotometer, you can see this has been connected to the heater. Okay. After getting heated, this heated water comes through this pipeline and it flows through this pipeline in this direction from left to right. When I take the another rotometer, it gives the cold water flow rate and this cold water is being connected to the pipe line which is above this heat exchanger. This is the pipeline which connects the cold water flow rate and we are having 4 of the valves, 2 on this side and 2 on this side. This valve is used to operate for the flow rate for parallel or counter flow rate. See, when I open a green, when I open the green, it gives the counter flow direction. When I open the orange valve on both sides, it gives the parallel flow direction. Since we are conducting the experiment for the parallel flow direction, you ensure that the green valve is closed and open the orange valve so that the water which is coming in over here, it flows through this pipeline. This is closed, green is closed, so that it goes through this pipeline and it flows in the same direction as that of the hot fluid. As I told you, the hot fluid is flowing from the left to right. Now the cold fluid is also flowing through the left and right, and finally it discharges over here after exchanging the heat. Okay, this is how you need to operate for the parallel flow direction. If you are operating for the counter flow direction, then you need to open the yellow, green, open the green valves and close the orange valves. Okay, like this. So you can see now the water, since this valve is closed, it will not go in this direction. The water will flow in this direction and it goes in counter flow direction and finally discharges at the outlet. Okay, this is how we can change the direction of the flow of the water. Now coming to the circuit, you can just see these are the temperatures T1, T2, T4 which are mounted. So usually the T1 temperature for the parallel flow gives the hot water inlet temperature. When I take T2 temperature, hot water outlet temperature, T3 is the cold water inlet temperature, T4 gives the cold water outlet temperature for parallel flow. When I take for the counter flow, T1 is the hot water inlet, T2 is the hot water outlet. There is no changes in this. When I take T3, it is cold water outlet temperature over here, and T4 is cold water inlet temperature. See, you can see we have the sensors which is being plotted here. There is thermocouple sensors which indicates the temperature T1, T2, T3, T4. So when I take this temperature, it is T1. On the other side, that is T2. When I take this temperature, it is T3, and that temperature is the T4 temperatures. So for counter flow, the cold fluid temperature interchanges when compared to the parallel flow. You need to note over here. See, in order to measure the temperature, you need to put the knob at the proper position and read the temperature over here. Okay. So now I will explain how to conduct the experiment. First, you need to switch on the water tap so that the cold water comes in. Then based on the direction of the flow, you open the valves. As I have explained, if you open orange valve and you are closing the green valves, you are going to conduct the parallel flow heat exchanger experiment. If you are opening the green valve and closing the orange valve over here, you are going to conduct the counter flow heat exchanger experiment. Okay. Just switch on this heater so that the water gets heated in the heater. So it is an instant heater. Wait for just 2 or 3 minutes and just start to take the readings of T1, T2, T3 and T4, and also you regulate the flow rate of the hot and cold water over here and measure the flow rate which is being provided over here. Okay, let me show you the calculation of the parallel flow heat exchanger. So here you tabulate the readings which you get from the apparatus. So serial number 1, hot water flow rate kgs per second, this first column. Second column is cold water flow rate kgs per second. Next is temperature of hot water TH1. TH1 is the hot water inlet temperature, TH2 is the hot water outlet temperature. Temperature of the cold water, TC1 is the inlet temperature of the cold water, TC2 is the outlet temperature of the cold water. So when I take the first trial, we got 50 kgs per second as the mass flow rate. See, there you will be getting in cc's per second, that you need to convert it into kgs per second and write it in the tabular column. Next is the cold water flow rate. We got 37.5 kgs per second. TH1, that is the inlet hot water temperature 43.5, outlet hot water temperature 41.6, inlet cold water temperature 32.3, and outlet cold water temperature 34.5. So with this, let me show you how to calculate for the first trial. So first we need to calculate heat transfer from the hot water. So it is given by formula QH is equal to mH CPH into TH1 minus TH2. Okay, inlet hot water temperature minus outlet hot water temperature. Okay, so here mH we got as 50 and CPH value we know for water, it is 4.187 into 10 power of 3 joule per kg Kelvin. So I am substituting this in joule per kg Kelvin. If you are substituting the value of CPH in kilojoule per kg Kelvin, you will be getting answer in kilowatt. Here since I have substituted in joule per kg Kelvin, I will be getting the value of QH as 397746 watt. Similarly, you calculate heat gain by the cold fluid. Okay, whatever the heat lost by the hot fluid will be gained by the cold fluid, you know. Okay, so here the formula is given by mccp C into Tc2 minus Tc1. So we got the value as 345,411 watt. We can see whatever the heat lost by the hot fluid is not completely gained by the cold fluid, because there is certain losses here we need to note. So when we are doing the theoretical problem, usually we take it as this is equal, right? So here you will see there is a difference. So when I take the heat transfer rate, we need to take the average of QC plus QH divided by 2. Okay, so that will be getting 371578.5 watt. Next, calculate LMTD. We have the formula of LMTD as theta 2 minus theta 1 divided by ln theta 2 by theta 1, where theta 2 is Th2 minus Tc2 and theta 1 is Th1 minus Tc1. Just substitute the value of temperatures which we have got from over here. We will be getting LMTD as 8.9947. Okay. Next is we need to calculate the overall heat transfer coefficient. Okay, we know the expression for Q is equal to U into delta T. See here we need to take delta T as the theta is equal to theta LMTD, that is the mean temperature difference we need to take. So your overall heat transfer coefficient formula will be U naught is equal to Q divided by A naught into theta LMTD. Okay, theta LMTD we got, Q value we have calculated over here. Okay, so that you calculate, you substitute these values, you will be getting U. See where A naught is calculated based on the outside diameter of the tube, that is given by pi d naught L divided d naught L, where d naught dimension and L dimension will be given in the specification. You please note this in the specification. Okay, so that we will be getting U naught has 701,372.28 watt per meter square Kelvin. Next is effectiveness. See, effectiveness formula is given by Tc2 minus Tc1 divided by Th1 minus Tc2 when Cc is less than Ch. So we can calculate what is effectiveness of an heat exchanger over here. Next is calculate effectiveness by using NTU approach, where NTU is U naught A naught divided by C min. You substitute the values in the expression. So by NTU approach we got effectiveness as 0.2108.